Okay, the streaming services are finally realizing that we need new movies. The movie theaters are still closed, so in order to get these new movies at home, they have to come to streaming services. So this week I am really excited to review a new movie that came to Disney Plus this month called Howard. This is a movie I did not hear about until my D23 magazine came and there was an article about it, and it is a movie on the life of Howard Ashman. Now, you musical Disney people will know that he is the lyricist behind all your favorite songs of The Little Mermaid, in your Aladdin, brain forever, and Beauty and the Beast. Written so this by movie Howard Ashman. Premiered at some festivals. It was going to go to a streaming service. How could it go anywhere else but Disney Plus? This is perfect home for it. And I watched it on the day it came out. I actually knew a lot about his life story. I've seen a lot of things about him and Alan Menken. Alan does the music side of it. Howard did the lyrics part of it. So they're kind of like this famous Disney team. They're kind of like our modern day Sherman Brothers. And so I've heard a lot about them and their story. This movie goes into a little more depth, gives you a little more insight into his life. I guess I should say that if you don't know who Howard Ashman is, this is a great educational movie if you're interested in the history of Disney music. But if you're not into those kind of things, you might find this movie a little bit boring. And I want to start with how this movie came about. So this movie is produced by another famous Disney director who directed a lot of Disney animated movies like Lion King and Hunchback of Notre Dame. And he wanted to create this movie about Howard Ashman's life. It starts from when he was a kid to when he died. I'm not spoiling anything because all you Disney people know how this story ends. So I want to talk more about this style of movie. This film was very documentary style. So he interviewed his friends and family, but we never see any of them. The only things we actually see are pictures and clips of Howard kind of mashed up throughout the movie. It's not necessarily my favorite style of movie, especially when I felt like towards the end of the movie they were showing a couple clips that I thought I had already seen. I personally would have liked to see the people they were interviewing because I like watching the emotions on people's faces when they talk about people they love. And Howard's is such a tragic story that even when they were just talking, I could feel how much they loved him and how much they wanted to share his story, and I kind of wanted to see them show that. But instead, all we got were just their voices, and it would put on the bottom of the screen who was talking, but I didn't always recognize their voice throughout. I'm much more of a visual person, so maybe that's why I didn't quite connect with how this movie was filmed. Not saying at all that it was a bad movie. It was very well done. If you didn't know, he died of AIDS. I think he said age 39 while writing his final movie, Beauty and the Beast, which is one of my all-time favorite Disney movies. Actually, Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast are definitely up there. And I think it's because of the music, and it was really interesting to hear how these movies came about, what his thought process was, and then I always love behind the scenes things where you can see music that was cut from a movie but added back in years later. Like if you guys have seen Disney on Broadway, you'll know that Proud of Your Boy is in that. Originally written for the animated movie, cut. Yet it was given new life in Broadway. They cut so many songs from these movies, but somehow they eventually come back to us. And a very interesting thing I learned about from this movie was that Part of Your World was almost cut from The Little Mermaid. Yeah, imagine a world without that. But Howard fought super hard to put this song in the movie, and I cannot imagine it without it, or even like the thought process behind taking that song out, because it just like completely sets up that movie. You know, this was someone that was so passionate about what they were doing and they fought so hard for it that it frustrated a lot of people. But I mean, look at how timeless it was. It's somebody who knew that that song needed to be in this movie. That's the kind of person he was. He created it and he fought for it. And those are the biggest takeaways that I kind of took out of this movie. And then at the end, there was a line that I wish I should have written it down. I can't quite remember it because it was like he didn't write songs about politics. He wrote songs about people. And for me, that's what I love about entertainment. And not everything has to have a message about it. And I think that's why that era of Disney movie that he helped create is such a turning point and classic part of Disney animation and Disney music as well, that it's forever part of us because it's just a story, a great story about people, a person, a place, and people stories together. I can only imagine what more he could have done if he, didn't die so young. But I have to say that this movie wasn't sad, maybe because I knew how it was going to end. It was just a really great tribute to one of the Disney greats that, for my generation, really created the Disney that we know and love today. So that's all I really have to say about that. I really am curious what other people thought of this movie. Because like I said, it wasn't exactly my style of filming, but I thought the information was interesting and it really kind of pulled at my heartstrings like I expected it to do. And I think that's because the people making this film were passionate about getting this film made, which makes a huge difference in movies, I think. So let me know what you guys think, because I really want to talk to other people who have seen it. So like I said, Howard on Disney Plus, streaming now, and I'm very excited for other new movies coming to Disney Plus, like brand new movies. So you can be expecting a lot more movie reviews coming up. My name's Aubrey. I make new videos every Thursday, so make sure you subscribe and follow me on all my social media, and I will see you guys next week. I mean, I cannot imagine Little Mermaid without Part of Your World. I think we should try to watch this movie and skip that song and see what the movie's like. It would have failed, and there's no way that the Disney Renaissance would have happened. I know that.